breaks my heart.
On the morning of May 2nd, 2025, in the remote forests of Nova Scotia, two young children, 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack, disappeared without a trace. What began as a quiet spring day would evolve into one of Canada's most baffling and unsettling missing persons investigations, leaving law enforcement, experts, and an entire community grasping for answers. This case quickly became what many investigators have described as statistically impossible, challenging the very foundation of traditional search and rescue methods and criminal investigation strategies. Lily and Jack lived with their mother, Amelia Brooks Murray, and her partner, Daniel Robert Martel, in a tiny rural settlement known as Lansdowne Station, located deep in Nova Scotia's dense woodlands. This is a region with little cell phone coverage, rough dirt roads, and a population of barely 100 people, many of whom are related through generations of family ties. The children were part of a blended family. Amelia had 3 children in total: Lily, Jack, and their younger sister, 16-month-old Meadow. The children's biological father was largely absent, to the point that his identity rarely appeared in any official records, creating an air of mystery about his role in their lives. For Amelia, moving to Lansdowne Station was a major shift. She came from the Sipnicatack First Nation, the largest Mi'kmaq community in Nova Scotia, leaving behind her cultural and family support network to live in a predominantly non-Indigenous, isolated area was unusual and left her without her traditional community's resources, a decision that would later have significant implications when tragedy struck. Lily and Jack attended Salt Springs Elementary School, a small rural school with only 86 students. Teachers and the school bus driver described them as spirited and lively, though reports about their communication styles were conflicting. Some described them as very talkative and eager to interact, while others claimed they were quiet and withdrawn. These discrepancies would later become a key source of confusion in the investigation, raising questions about whether anyone truly understood the children's behaviors or needs. The last confirmed sighting of Lily and Jack occurred on Tuesday, April 29, 2025. When the school bus dropped them off at the end of their long dirt driveway. After that day, public sightings ceased. Initially, Daniel stated that the children had only missed school on Thursday and Friday due to Lily feeling unwell. Later, however, his story changed, and he suggested they hadn't been at school for the entire week. A teacher confirmed seeing Lily on Monday, April 28th, but the timeline for the following days remained murky. This 48 to 72-hour gap before the children were officially reported missing became one of the investigation's most troubling mysteries. During this period, no one outside the immediate family could verify their whereabouts. For investigators, these unaccounted-for hours represented a critical window in which something may have happened, an opportunity to gather evidence that was lost before authorities even knew to look. According to Amelia, the morning of May 2nd began quietly. She later told investigators that she awoke around 8 a.m., hearing the children playing in the next room while she drifted in and out of sleep. Daniel, however, offered a slightly different account, stating that Lily had entered the bedroom several times while Jack remained in the kitchen. At approximately 8:20 a.m., both parents claimed that an unusual silence fell over the house. When they went to check on the children, Lily and Jack were gone. From there, the story grew increasingly puzzling. For the children to have left undetected, several unlikely events had to occur simultaneously. They would have needed to quietly dress themselves, including putting on boots and outdoor clothing, without waking their parents or disturbing their baby sister. They would have had to open a sliding back door, a door described by Daniel as completely silent when opened, without leaving it ajar, despite their usual habit of leaving it wide open. They would have then needed to scale a fenced yard, which experts deemed nearly impossible for children of their age without assistance. Within a span of 20 minutes, the children seemingly vanished into the dense woods, leaving no physical trace behind. Investigators would later describe this sequence as highly improbable, sparking immediate suspicions about the circumstances surrounding their disappearance. Daniel claimed that after realizing the children were missing, he conducted a rapid search of the property and surrounding dirt roads before Melia called 911. The official call was logged at approximately 10:00 a.m., but conflicting dispatch reports suggested the children may have been missing as early as 8 a.m. This unexplained 2-hour gap raised serious questions. Why was there a delay in contacting emergency services? What was happening during that crucial time? When law enforcement arrived, tensions escalated quickly. By the end of the day, arguments broke out between members of Melia's family and Daniel, further complicating the situation and fracturing the household just as the search was intensifying. The search effort for Lily and Jack was one of the largest in Nova Scotia's recent history. Over 160 professional and volunteer searchers combed through more than 5 square kilometers of rugged forest. Specialized resources were deployed, search dogs trained to detect human scent, drones with thermal imaging to locate heat signatures, helicopters to provide aerial overviews, and also underwater teams to search nearby lakes and rivers. The terrain presented extreme challenges. Fallen trees, hurricane debris, and heavy undergrowth slowed progress. Searchers battled exhaustion, injuries, and even dangerous wildlife, including fresh bear tracks. Despite these efforts, no definitive trace of the children was found. No clothing, no footprints, no discarded items like Jack's distinctive blue dinosaur boots or Lily's strawberry-patterned backpack. The only possible breakthrough occurred on day 4, when searchers discovered what appeared to be a small footprint. Hopes briefly surged, but follow-up efforts failed to uncover any related evidence. Even more unsettling was the discovery of unrelated children's items, such as clothing and a water bottle, which did not belong to Lily or Jack. This raised disturbing questions about who had left them and why they were there. On May 3rd, just one day after the disappearance, the RCMP Major Crime Unit became involved, a highly unusual step so early in a missing persons case. Typically, homicide detectives are not called in unless there are strong indications of foul play. Their early involvement suggested that investigators had reasons to suspect something beyond a simple case of wandering children. By May 8th, the active search was scaled back. The once busy command center vanished, leaving only yellow tape and tire tracks. This signaled a major shift. The case was no longer being treated primarily as a rescue mission, but as a potential criminal investigation. Investigators began collecting electronic devices, bank records, GPS data, and phone activity from Daniel and Melia. They even analyzed signals from unidentified devices that might have entered the property, searching for evidence of third-party involvement. Daniel publicly requested a polygraph test, which police neither confirmed nor denied would occur. Meanwhile, Melia was advised by police not to speak publicly, a move that, while protective of the investigation, fueled public speculation. In many missing child cases, parents are encouraged to make emotional appeals through the media. Melia's silence suggested she might be considered a key witness or potential suspect. The disappearance of Lily and Jack deeply affected the local community and beyond. At Salt Springs Elementary, their seats on the school bus remained empty, name tags still taped above them, a haunting reminder of their absence. Residents tied pink ribbons to trees, symbolizing hope and solidarity. However, as days turned into weeks without progress, frustration mounted. Online discussions spiraled into wild speculation and accusations, prompting Canadian lawyers to issue warnings about the potential legal consequences of spreading harmful rumors under Nova Scotia's Cyber Protection Act. Community leaders emphasized the need for compassion. Robert Parker, the local municipal warden, urged residents to remain kind and avoid spreading unverified theories. He likened the collective grief to that experienced during a major industrial disaster, underscoring the profound emotional toll this case had taken on everyone involved. Multiple theories emerged as experts and the public tried to make sense of the disappearance. The wandering theory. Police initially suggested the children may have wandered into the woods and become lost. However, experts pointed out flaws. Children that age rarely travel far, and statistically, some trace footprints, clothing, or other evidence should have been found. Accidental drowning. Underwater search teams explored the possibility that Lily and Jack fell into a body of water. Yet no bodies or belongings were recovered, leaving this theory incomplete. The abduction theory. Daniel promoted the idea of kidnapping, even urging police to expand searches to provincial borders and airports. However, without evidence of forced entry or credible sightings, authorities declined to issue an Amber Alert. The foul play. The most troubling theory involved potential involvement by someone close to the family. The early involvement of the major crime unit, conflicting timelines, and unusual behavior fueled suspicion. While no charges have been filed, investigators have not ruled out this possibility. As of now, the investigation into Lily and Jack Sullivan's disappearance remains active. Law enforcement continues to follow leads, analyze forensic evidence, and interview individuals connected to the case. The RCMP has emphasized that they will not stop until the truth is uncovered. For the community of Lansdowne Station, daily life is forever changed. Children's laughter no longer echoes through the forest. Pink ribbons continue to flutter in the wind, silent witnesses to a mystery that has yet to be solved. Until answers are found, the story of Lily and Jack Sullivan will continue to haunt Nova Scotia and beyond, a testament to the enduring need for vigilance, community solidarity, and the relentless pursuit of truth. If you have any information about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan, please contact your local law enforcement agency immediately. Even the smallest detail could make a difference. And if you found this documentary informative, consider subscribing to stay updated on ongoing investigations and to support efforts focused on education, prevention, and public awareness.